people that can't cook, insurance companies that are paying out or calculating or working based on knowing exactly when people are gonna die. What's the point in content creation anyway and having a quiet week? That's what I've got for you this week. And I'm breaking this down into 4 different areas. Number 1 is what I've thought this week. I've been kind of documenting, or not documenting, religiously posting on my Instagram story my food every single day since I released a podcast on why I went paleo a few weeks ago. I'll link to everything I speak about down below in the notes so that if you really want to listen to more, you definitely can. And what I've been doing is I've been showing people what I've been eating. What surprised me the most is that people ask me how I cook it. To a point where actually someone said to me, "Why are you being so sarcastic?" When I replied to them and said, "I cook my potatoes in an oven." And then I thought back to the number of people that I actually know that I've heard don't know how to cook. Fast forward this problem and what have we got is where we're at today. We've got a lot of people that don't know how to cook. We've got a lot of people that are therefore ordering food in, and the quality of the food that they're getting, they have no idea where it's sourced from, how it was cooked, what was put into it extra or not, and how nutritious it really is. We're relying on the facts that they normally don't tell us, and then we're questioning why we're gaining weight, not feeling good, unable to lose weight, unable to sleep. This maybe is the crux of the problem. So where does the problem really start with food is, why don't we learn how to cook it? Is that taught in schools anymore? I don't know. I wasn't actually taught per se how to cook an egg in a school, but I guess that's one of the life skills that you have. That's some interesting thoughts I've been having around food as I've got a lot more interaction with people in the last few weeks since I have been posting all of my food, how I eat paleo 85 to 90% of the time. That's my first category, what I thought of this week. The second category is 2 things that I learned. I learned these 2 things from 2 different platforms. One was a podcast diary of a CEO where it was super interesting, as I said in the opening there, where this guy was talking about the job of an insurance broker, or the ability of the insurance broker being able to calculate exactly how long a person is going to live for. And he was quoting some studies, and I haven't checked them to be honest, which I think on all these things that you listen to, read, especially as much as you can, no matter what platform it's on, not especially anything, no matter what platform it's on, it's always interesting to cross-check. Anyway, I didn't cross-check and I want to put this out there. That was what I learned for the first time, that actually that's what they really do. Maybe I'm a little bit naive to the fact. The second thing that I learned on that show with insurance brokers, or the insurance industry as a whole, is it was basically the only industry that wasn't hit through COVID. It did better. Lots of industries got hit. Some did a little bit good, but insurance as a whole is the most robust. I wonder why. The second thing I listened to was actually a clip of Elon. Now, I don't love him or hate him. There's a lot about him taking over Twitter, what he's saying and maybe what his plan is and what he's doing. That's not up to me to judge. How he treats his employees, I think it's actually not too bad. I don't like the way that he treats people that don't want to be treated that way, but I think it was very fair that he just came in and said, this is how I'm going to do things. If you want to ride this bus with me, you ride this bus with me. You can think it's inhumane. Maybe. That's not really my choice. I'm not here to judge him. If you want to work for him, at least you know that he expects you to work 6 hours a day, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. I'm not sure how many people should be putting their hand up for that. Anyway, I digress. What Elon was talking about is the lack of regulation around chatgpt. And this is quite nuts. He put it quite simply. He's very good at putting stuff super simply so you just hop on his side. And I'm going to put it simply to you. What he said is 2 major things. One is there is regulation in the aviation industry, which makes it one of the safest ways to travel in the world. Yes, that's cool. Same with motor cars. We have road regulations. We have regulations how we're supposed to build a car so that they're safe and people get through to where they're trying to get to. However, with ChatGPT, there is no regulation. With AI, there is no real regulation or set of rules. It's quite frightening. Watch it in the link below. It's pretty cool. I learned a little bit more about ChatGPT over the last few weeks. I've just been Googling around it, watching some YouTube. I was in a meeting today and someone said, have you used it? And for the first time, I actually saw how you could use it. I've not used it yet, but it opened my mind quite a bit. I'm unsure on 2 things this week, and this is my 3rd category. I had an interesting conversation with a content creator this week or someone who creates content for people. So he's not the wanky influencer, but he's the person that helps people to create the content. He's an artist, really. He used to be a dancer. He creates things. He's a storyteller, as he told me. Super, super nice guy from near where I'm from in the UK. He's from Bradford, I'm from Leeds. They're about 45 minutes apart, irrelevant. What we spoke about is what really is content. And maybe that's what prompted me to start this weekly video again. Maybe it'll last for a week, maybe it will only come every 2 weeks. But I thought I'd get on here and just do some talking. Not because of that, but maybe because of that. What is content? How are we telling stories, and what story are we really wanting to tell? What I like at the moment, whilst Holly is away, is a little bit longer form YouTube content that I can watch of an evening. 20 minutes whilst I'm preparing my paleo dinner, and 20 minutes whilst I've finished it sitting down, or should I say this, eating my dinner and watching something on YouTube. Anyway, that's what I'm gravitating towards at the moment. It's all really based on adventure stuff. That's what I like. So that's what I'm thinking about more. I don't really spend, someone might not believe me, I don't spend a disproportionate amount of time scrolling on Instagram. I spend a lot of time putting stuff on Instagram, but I don't really like to consume content there. I have no attention span. But when I sit down with my iPad or with the television with YouTube, I'm actually interested in it. When it comes to the gym, how do we tell a story? And this was the main, not sure if that other stuff was relevant. Anyway, this was the main point that we were talking about, was we've got John, who's overweight. I think we stereotyped him quite well as drinking 5 pints a night at the moment. How do we tell the story of taking John from the pub and tell it all the way through to John having lost 15 kilos without saying to John, here's a camera, track absolutely everything you're doing? With the attempt to, A, give John a record of what he's done, to continue to motivate him, and secondly, create something that maybe inspires others to create the same action. It's quite interesting where content is going. I don't know, is it because I'm old that I don't know. I don't use TikTok. Did we mention TikTok? I'll move on. The second thing that I'm not too sure about this week is completely random, but seeing as Holly's been away for coming up to 5 weeks, I'm starting to run out of home supplies. Yes, I do the washing up. So I've run out of washing up liquid. The maid, oh no, I clean the house. The maid's run out of some cleaning products. And I thought to myself, yep, I could just go to Waitrose and buy them, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a little look around. So I went on Amazon, and I also went on Waitrose site and the Spinneys site as well. And one thing that I'm really not sure about is that I found some washing up liquid on the Spinneys site. Spinneys, for those of you listening internationally, is a grocery store, so is Waitrose, and I hope you all know what Amazon is. Waitrose site, Spinneys site, a Waitrose branded bottle of washing up liquid was about 10 dirhams 50. Exactly the same bottle on the Waitrose site was 1 dirham more expensive. There's a number of disparities between certain brands on those stores. They're kind of owned by the same person, but the brand was exactly the same. And also, if you compare a brand that's available in those stores and a brand on Amazon. I'm not sure why we need to have a difference, and I'm not sure how many people check. It's not up to me to set pricing policies. However, I will say, if you're buying things for your home, you probably all already do this, but I think sometimes we're a little bit like, oh, it's only a dirham here and dirham there, or whatever that would be. What is it, 30 cents, something like that, here or there. But when you think about it, there can be quite a lot of big differences. I actually found one product that we had bought before that had from Amazon to Waitrose a 10 dirham difference, and we use one bottle of that every month. Why am I unsure about it? I'm not sure why I'm unsure, but I thought it fit quite nicely into this category. Check prices, you can do it online, and it might save you a couple of quid here and there. Hopefully you're already doing that. Maybe I'm a bit late to the race. So how am I feeling? This week is taper week. Tomorrow, I'm recording this afternoon, and this is the first point. Tomorrow is Rackman. It's the first full distance Ironman triathlon that I will have ever attempted. It is probably what you might call an extreme one because it has 4,000 meters of bike elevation in it. It doesn't have extremely cold water like some of the more famous extreme triathlons, but it does have a trail route that has around 1,200 to 1,500 meters of elevation, which is all in the last 10 kilometers on a trail. So it could be called an extreme triathlon. It's my version of it. There'll just be me, Rob, Tom is coming to support us, Carlin will be there to support us, and some of the guys will come as well. So it's taper week. You feel totally different. It's really weird. You go through really intense training. I've been training about 20 hours a week for the last however many weeks. You're used to feeling, in simple terms, pretty fucked. You're tired most of the time, even though I sleep 8 to 9 hours a night. And now my week has a lot more. And I've naturally, this is probably another reason why I've done this video as well. I've naturally not put much in my diary because I think that's what a taper week should be. A taper week is not to replace 20 hours of training with 20 hours of cognitive stress. So today I actually only had 2 meetings, had to do payroll, and I've got to do this. That is literally it. A couple of other minor things. So I cleared everything out. I've slept a lot more. I've had a lot more time. I've actually also, on sleep, make sure you listen to my podcast about sleep hygiene. I'll put it in the link below. I've also wanted to strengthen my immune system. So on my magic drink, which is over on my Instagram, there's a lot of cross promotion here. It's all good. You'll ask for the links. So I'm just going to give them to you below. I've been drinking that for the last 5 days to strengthen my immune system. I need everything I can. Taper week is always super interesting because it's a complete new pattern. I woke up this morning, normally on a Thursday I wake up about 4:30. Today I got an extra half an hour. I've been asleep half an hour earlier last night as well because I want to sleep more because I need that for what I'm going to do tomorrow. And then there's really not much to do. I just did some yoga. It's really super interesting. So can you stand it? Can you not go off the rails with food? Can you maintain good food and a good quantity of food to ensure that I'm in good shape for tomorrow? That's what I've been focusing on a lot this week. And how am I feeling? I actually feel pretty good, but not normal compared to what normal has been the last few weeks. So I feel good. I feel full of energy. I don't feel tired at all. I'm not sure how my eyes look. That's up to you to judge if you want to, but I feel pretty good and pretty excited. Tomorrow morning, I'll be up 4:45. We'll leave the house just after 4. Drive up to Ras Al Khaimah, swim at the beach, ride to the mountain, 4,000 meters elevation, run down it, and then run back up it on the trail. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Thanks a lot for listening. Hopefully that was useful. That's what I thought, learned, not sure about, and how I'm feeling. Have a great weekend.